Okay, folks, let's talk about the movie that no one saw coming. While big-budget blockbusters were fighting for attention this summer, one nostalgic sequel quietly stepped into theaters and flipped the script. We're talking about Freakier Friday, the surprise follow-up to the 2003 body swap comedy that starred Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. And guess what? It's making serious noise at the box office. With a worldwide total of $90 million already in the bag, the question now is, can Lindsay Lohan's full-blown comeback push this film past the 100 million milestone? Today, we're breaking down the numbers, the audience reaction, and why this film has become one of the biggest sleeper hits of the year. So if you've seen it, plan to see it, or just want to know why everyone's talking about it again, stick around. One often overlooked element in a film's success is theater retention, and Freakier Friday is doing remarkably well there. Most films start to lose screen count fast after the second weekend, but as of this week, the film is still playing in nearly 4,000 theaters. That kind of hold is rare, and it signals continued demand. Theaters are in the business of selling tickets, and they don't keep underperforming films on the schedule for long. So, the fact that this movie is still holding on to premium slots shows exhibitors are seeing solid returns. That presence will be key in pushing it to, and potentially beyond, that coveted 9-figure milestone. So what happens if Freakier Friday crosses $100 million? First, it cements itself as one of the most successful comedies of the year, something we haven't seen much of lately in a market dominated by action, horror, and franchise films. Second, it opens the door for more mid-budget, character-driven movies to return to theaters. Studios are watching this very closely. If this film proves that there's still a massive appetite for heartfelt comedies with relatable characters, we could see more green lights for similar projects. And third, it gives Lindsay Lohan what could be the most meaningful comeback of her career. Now, as we head into the next few weeks, box office tracking suggests the film's run isn't over yet. Weekday numbers are holding strong, and weekend projections remain steady. The fact that a Tuesday haul jumped 69% from the previous day shows that momentum is still very much alive. And while Wednesday saw a dip, that's to be expected. What matters most is consistency, and Freakier Friday has it. Barring any major surprises, it looks increasingly likely that the movie will cross the $100 million line by early next month. And if international markets hold, it might even do so sooner. To wrap things up, Freakier Friday has become more than just a feel-good sequel. It's a full-blown comeback story, not just for its lead actress, but for a genre that's been sidelined for too long. With strong box office numbers, glowing audience reviews, and staying power in theaters, it's proving that movies don't need to be huge, spectacle-driven blockbusters to succeed. Sometimes, all it takes is a smart, heartfelt story, great performances, and the right release window. Whether you've already seen it or plan to catch it soon, one thing's for sure: Freakier Friday is here to stay. And if it does hit $100 million, it'll be one of the year's most unexpected and welcome movie success stories. Let's rewind for a second and set the stage. Freakier Friday is a direct sequel to the early 2000s classic Freaky Friday, which itself was a remake of a 1976 film. That 2003 version became a cultural moment, especially for fans of teen comedies and family-friendly fun. But this new film, it arrives over 2 decades later, and instead of feeling like a tired retread, it somehow landed at just the right time. It reunites the original stars and gives us that multi-generational magic all over again. More importantly, it's doing something few sequels manage to do. It's connecting with both new audiences and longtime fans. And that blend might just be the secret behind its surprising success. Here's what we know so far. Freakier Friday has raked in over $90 million globally. Impressive for a mid-budget comedy with no superheroes, no CGI explosions, and no major franchise muscle. The film continues to hold strong in nearly 4,000 theaters across the US, and with steady ticket sales overseas, the $100 million mark is well within reach. During its third weekend, it pulled in $14 million, right on par with its previous weekend. Those kinds of consistent returns are rare, especially in a summer stacked with high-profile releases. Experts say another $9 million this coming weekend is entirely possible, especially with positive word-of-mouth driving momentum. So how did a film like this manage to break through the noise? A big part of the credit goes to audience reception. On CinemaScore, where real moviegoers give their honest, post-show opinions, Freakier Friday landed an impressive A rating. That's a step above the original film's A- grade. For a family comedy, especially a sequel this far removed from its predecessor, that kind of score speaks volumes. It suggests people aren't just showing up out of curiosity, they're genuinely loving it. And when you've got families walking out of a movie with big smiles and telling their friends to go see it, that's where staying power starts to build. Word of mouth can be more powerful than any marketing budget, and Freakier Friday is proof. Social media buzz has been overwhelmingly positive, with fans praising everything from the humor to the chemistry between Lohan and Curtis. What's even more impressive is how the film manages to update its themes without losing the charm of the original. It leans into modern-day parenting, generational gaps, and even some clever nods to the first movie, all without feeling forced. This kind of thoughtful storytelling is striking a chord with viewers who are craving feel-good content in a time when a lot of cinema feels overly serious or action-heavy. Another factor working in the movie's favor, timing. Released in mid-summer, Freakier Friday faced competition, but avoided the mega-release weekends dominated by Marvel or high-octane thrillers. That gave it just enough breathing room to find its audience. And with very little direct competition in the family comedy space, it became a go-to choice for parents looking for something appropriate and genuinely entertaining to watch with their kids. The film also benefited from its PG rating, opening the door to younger viewers who might not be ready for the intensity of today's action fare. It's a case of smart scheduling, paying off big time. Let's talk about Lindsay Lohan. After years away from the spotlight, this film marks her biggest mainstream theatrical release in over a decade. Her performance has been one of the most talked about elements of the film, and for good reason. Critics have noted her comedic timing hasn't lost a beat, and audiences have clearly welcomed her return. Jamie Lee Curtis brings her usual charisma, and the two have real chemistry that anchors the film emotionally. In fact, their dynamic is so strong that many reviews call it the heart of the movie. It's not just a return for Lohan, it's a reminder of the kind of star power she once had and could very well reclaim. But don't be mistaken, Freakier Friday isn't just riding on nostalgia. The script is sharp, the pacing is brisk, and the direction keeps things moving without ever feeling rushed. There's a balance between humor and heartfelt moments that doesn't feel overly sentimental. It taps into familiar tropes, but gives them just enough of a modern twist to keep things fresh. And unlike some sequels that rely too heavily on callbacks, this one uses its legacy as a foundation, not a crutch. That approach is clearly resonating with audiences who are walking away surprised by just how much fun they're having. Internationally, the film is performing better than expected. In markets like the UK, Canada, and Australia, it has seen strong weekday holds and better than average per-screen averages. The overseas appeal is helped by the film's universal themes, family, understanding, and second chances, which play well across cultures. Add to that the growing streaming and digital interest, with some platforms already promoting pre-orders. And it's clear that this movie will have a long tail beyond its theatrical run. The global interest is another reason analysts believe the film is almost guaranteed to crack that $100 million mark, and possibly more.